So I didn't think I'd have to talk about this again, but there's some news about Absolute Batman that could be disastrous. And it's gonna combine the woke freaks of Absolute Batman with the tourist hoodweebs of modern anime. But before we get into it, if you like these type of videos and you want to help out the channel, then maybe consider subscribing or becoming a patron. So this is just going to be a quick video, but I made it known when I made my first Absolute Batman videos that Absolute Batman is not something for comic book fans. It's not something for Batman fans. It's not even something that real fans of proper anime and manga could like. No, I've been saying it from the very start that Absolute Batman is something for hoodweeb anime tourists. It's for people who do not care about good writing, good art, good storytelling. They don't care about comic books, manga, or anime. All they care about, and we'll get to who they are in a second, is big buff dudes punching each other. The same people who adore have posters, tattoos of Dragon Ball Z and don't read or watch any other manga or anime. So that's just a quick note. If you're a fan of Akira Toriyama or if you're into Dragon Ball, I don't really have a problem with you. I'm more of a Fist of the North Star guy myself, but Dragon Ball doesn't exactly suck. But my god, the retards that are now into Dragon Ball are insufferable. And this next part is probably going to piss you off even more, because you can kind of narrow it down to an exact group of people. You can comment don't make it about skin color and race, because it's just a fact that there's a horde of black anime fans that care nothing about real anime and manga. And all they care about is big powerful characters with no good writing. It's why the main audience of Absolute Batman are not comic book fans. They're those exact people who can't see that the art sucks. Scott Snyder has never been able to write. They're just in it for the fact that it's similar to one of those shitty animes. These are the type of people who can't watch or read any other anime or manga. If an anime or manga has a female character that just so happens to be attractive, they'll lose their minds and start screaming fan service when that has been in manga and anime since the very beginning. Some of these guys are probably just gay and they can't handle it when the male characters are badass and the female characters can be hot and badass without being woke. But that could be an entire different video. The point is, I'm not even lying, it's just a fact that this specific group of black people who might just so happen to be from the hood love a certain type of anime that is shitty. And that means they think stuff like Absolute Batman is gas and it's absolute fire, when in reality it's absolute shit. And speaking of absolute shit, here's the terrible news. So Nick Dragotta, the arrogant artist on Absolute Batman who just cannot draw for the life of him. If you think that any of this garbage looks good, I don't know what's wrong with you. How can you read any popular manga like Vagabond or Berserk, then read this thing and think that it looks good? Japanese artists put in way more work, where this guy is just some asshole who needs to shut up. Case in point, he wants to see a Studio Trigger anime of Absolute Batman. Now, Studio Trigger are the people who made Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Now, I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I've seen a lot of stuff from it and I've seen a lot of people praising it. I've played the Cyberpunk game and you can't really say that it's a good game because one, it's unfinished, and two, it just plain sucks. So an anime of that world doesn't really seem appealing to me when there's much better cyberpunk anime out there, like Ghost in the Shell, Akira, Bubblegum Crisis, and many OVAs from the 80s and 90s. So I don't really know if the anime is woke or if it sucks, but to me it just looks like your modern anime. It doesn't look all that great. And to be honest, isn't really something you should be hyping up when you haven't watched proper anime. I'm not even being an elitist. I'm just saying watch some anime that came out before the year 1990 and then start talking about stuff being the best. But all that stuff aside, Cyberpunk Edgerunners isn't really the problem. From the looks of it, it just has a badass dude and a chick next to him for the entire thing. And that isn't really something that can bode well with Absolute Batman. And you could argue and start pulling stuff up from Absolute Batman. I haven't read the thing. I'm never gonna read it. It's absolutely retarded and always will be. But I think that's an undisputable fact that Absolute Batman is just the gay version of normal Batman, with race swaps, retarded politics, terrible writing, art that makes Batman look like a Down syndrome fat guy. And just to the people watching, I'm not making fun of autistic people or anything, even though I can if I want to. I'm just saying that Batman, you know, that character that has a really clear personality, shouldn't be walking around like some gay Discord user giving flowers to people and crying. Really, if you want to argue, try dispute some of the panels I have up on screen right now. This isn't a joke. You can't really tell me that any of this is masculine, cool, or good art. So if you want to say something about Absolute Batman being badass, masculine, masculine and like anime and classic comics, seriously fuck off. Cause the comic should have been titled Absolute Gay Retarded Man. And to end off this video, I just want to talk about this issue that's going on in the whole comics world recently. You see it from people like James Gunn and now Nick Dragotta, where they think that they can just demand stuff that makes no sense. What about the times where the people who directed superhero movies and made comics were actually humble and didn't demand things that they don't deserve? Like here, Nick Dragotta, the prick, is back at it again, saying he'd love to see an anime of Absolute Batman. Your comic sucks. I don't think it's gonna get an anime, and if it does, it's just gonna be more garbage like your comic. I can understand if you just made something that's utterly amazing, out of this world art and storytelling, then you go, man, I'd like to see an anime of what I made. Still, that's pretty narcissistic. But the point is, what you made by no means deserves an anime adaptation. And these posts have 10,000 likes, tons of people loving it, and you can guess who they are. It all just comes full circle and proves my argument correct. The only people who like this garbage are hoodweebs who don't know what storytelling or good art is. It's why they only like crappy anime and manga, can't watch anything before the year 1990, and lose their minds when this is announced, saying that it's gonna be absolute peak and fire. And I don't really care if an Absolute Batman anime gets made, because who's gonna watch that crap except these exact handicaps? These are the type of spastics that don't know what Astro Boy, Devilman, Gundam, Fist of the North Star, City Hunter, Blade of the Immortal, Space Battleship Yamato, and Space Pirate Captain Harlock. They don't know what any of this is, yet call themselves fans of anime and manga. There is no argument and there's no discussion if you don't know what any of that stuff is. That's my solution to this whole spasticated problem. Just go back and read and watch many of the great anime and manga, and read some old comics if you want something that actually has great quality. Because there's years and years from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s of anime and manga. And the bottom line is, if you don't respect any of that stuff, then you need to go back to the hood, being gay, and enjoy your retarded Absolute Batman. So if you're a fan of proper old manga and anime or Batman comics, then do let me know and maybe consider subscribing. And if you're one of these woke, pathetic, fake fans, go complain to your boyfriend.